DJI's upcoming Lito X1 is being discussed as a new compact consumer drone that could sit above an entry model called Lito 1, with the X1 aimed at more demanding creators and the Lito 1 aimed at beginners. The biggest reason people are taking the Lito X1 seriously is that it appears in US regulatory filings, which is usually a strong sign that a product is real and moving through late-stage development. In those leak roundups, the Lito X1 shows up under the internal code SS3-D GP14, while the Lito 1 appears as SS3-DGN12. It's also widely reported that the Lito X1 received FCC certification on November 27, 2025, which supports the idea that DJI has already finalized core wireless hardware and is preparing for a commercial launch. Positioning-wise, multiple reports frame the Lito X1 as a possible successor-class product to the DJI Mini 5 Pro, while the Lito 1 is described as a Mini 4K replacement or a drone that targets the same entry-level segment. That gives you an early clue about what to expect. The Lito X1 should prioritize better imaging, longer range links, and more safety tech than the most basic models, while still trying to stay small and travel-friendly. Another repeated theme is sub-250 grams, with the Lito X1 described as a foldable drone designed to stay under the 250-gram threshold in at least one configuration. That weight class matters because it can reduce registration friction in some regions, which is exactly why DJI's Mini series became so popular with casual flyers and creators. Right now, the most specific camera details are coming from leak roundups and creator videos rather than an official DJI announcement. So treat exact sensor size and frame rate claims as unconfirmed until DJI publishes final specs. Some leak-style coverage and first-look videos claim the Lito X1 is built to compete hard with mini-series drones on image quality, which implies a meaningful jump over ultra-budget drones. But those pieces don't carry the same weight as official documentation. If you're planning content around this drone, the safest researched statement you can make today is that the Lito X1 is being positioned as the higher-end Lito model meant for creators, and that typically means DJI is likely to focus on a strong sensor and processing combo, not just basic 4K. The consistent thread across reports is not a specific codec or exact max frame rate, but rather that DJI is targeting creators who want stable, reliable footage and predictable performance in a small body. That makes the gimbal, stabilization tuning, and transmission quality just as important as the raw resolution number, especially if you shoot moving subjects like motorcycles, travel walkthroughs, or action sequences. Several creator videos describe the Lito X1 in Mini 5 Pro killer terms, but those are hype labels rather than verified specs, so it's smarter to focus your expectations on DJI's typical strengths: stabilization, color consistency, and usable automatic modes. If you want to sound both deep and honest in your coverage, a good approach is to separate what the filings strongly suggest from what the rumor ecosystem is filling in. Filings and leak summaries can hint at the kind of product it is, but the camera pipeline details, sensor format, bit depth, profiles, and real low-light performance usually stay unclear until launch day marketing and real-world reviews. So for now, think of the camera story as creator-focused compact DJI, with final image quality still an open question. One of the boldest claims tied to the Lito X1 is support for DJI's 05 image transmission standard, with some reports linking it to 20 kilometers plus class range in ideal conditions. The new camera write-up argues that the FCC material references an SDR transmission 2 transceiver, which they connect to an OcuSync-like SDR approach and next-gen link hardware. Separate coverage also repeats the idea that 05 plus cellular 5G integration could enable an effectively unlimited control/video link range as long as both ends have cellular coverage, which would be a major shift in how small consumer drones can be used for certain tasks. This is also the kind of feature that sounds almost too good to be true, so it's best framed as a reported capability and a possible direction DJI is moving toward, rather than a guaranteed everyday experience for all pilots in all countries. In the same leak reporting, the Lito X1 is described as compatible with DJI's RCN3 and RC2 controllers, which would be a practical plus for people who already own DJI gear. There's also mention of Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth Low Energy in the regulatory context, which fits the expectation of modern wireless connections for pairing, setup, and short-range control features. For creators, the real-world benefit of stronger transmission is not just distance, but cleaner live video and fewer dropouts when you fly in messy RF environments like neighborhoods, tourist spots, or city rooftops. The Lito X1 is repeatedly described as having advanced obstacle sensing, including omnidirectional or 360-degree detection, with a mix of wide-angle/fisheye optics, plus an additional sensor said to reach around 10 meters, along with infrared-related sensing for altitude or positioning. If that ends up being accurate, it would place the Lito X1 closer to DJI's higher confidence flying experience, where the drone can help you avoid common beginner mistakes like backing into a tree or clipping a branch during a sideways tracking shot. Reports also mention voice commands and gesture-style control, which sounds like DJI trying to make quick, casual shooting easier. Think short travel clips where you want to launch fast and grab a clean orbit without fiddling with settings for 5 minutes. One of the more detailed repeated leak points is that DJI may ship 2 Lito X1 variants, a standard version around 30 minutes that stays under 250 grams, and a plus version around 50 minutes that likely pushes the drone above 250 grams. That kind of split would make a lot of sense because DJI can satisfy 2 different customers at once. People who buy for the sub-250 convenience and people who just want maximum time in the air. It also means early buyers should pay attention not only to flight time, but to the exact takeoff weight of each bundle, because one configuration could be minimal paperwork, while the other might change how you're expected to fly or register depending on local rules. Several reports specify internal storage figures, with the Lito X1 said to have around 42 gigabytes built in, while the smaller Lito one is said to have around 22 gigabytes, and both are expected to support microSD expansion like most DJI drones.